So in today's video, we are going to look at how to, number one, open up your project in Premiere, and then we're going to look at how to get started. Let's get into it. So as always, everything starts with this AVTF media folder, 2020, 21, or whatever year that you're in this class. So I'm going to double click on this folder, and that opens up that folder. I'm gonna go to my class. I'm first year, my period. I'm 4B. My folder, my name is Mr. Daniels, of course. I'm gonna open that up, and the project that I'm gonna open up is this Black History project. So I'm gonna double click on that. And so again, every project folder has the content folder, which has all of your content, music, videos, pictures, all of that stuff. And also you have your project files folder. So in order to open up my project, I want to double click on my project files folder, and right here is my project file. So you notice this is the same PR as Premiere. That's the logo. So with that said, of course, this file is associated with Premiere. So with that said, I'm going to double click on it. And so it's opening up my project in Premiere Pro. All right, so after you have set up your project and you come back to it, it's that simple. It's going to load it up, and there it is. So we're going to look at Premiere Pro at a glance before we start to import. So there's a few things to note. Number one, this is the program window. So whenever we make our sequence down here, we'll be able to see whatever we're editing up here in this program window. This is our source window, which is where we can preview our clips. So down here, this is where we can import. So whatever files that you drag and drop in here, that is what you can double click on to preview up here. Or after you create your sequence, you can drag it and drop it over here. All right, so this is what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with importing. All right, so on any Mac, one of the most important things to know how to access is this Finder folder, which I call it the Finder face, the white and blue Finder face, but this is very important. So I'm going to click on this, and as you probably saw before, this window was already up. So I'm going to press back. And the first thing that I want to do, especially if I don't have anything in my timeline or in Premiere and it's blank like this, I want to import my footage. So it's very easy to do that, especially if you're organized. So right here, before this tutorial, I've downloaded some pictures, and actually I'm very organized on here. So I have some images that I downloaded of John Singleton. I actually worked on my my voiceover in a different program, which is called Adobe Audition. So I made an audio folder, an Audition, of course, that's the name of the folder, and also I got my song. So with that said, I got all of my stuff here, and just to be perfectly organized, I'm gonna switch over to list view, which are these lines, and it just organizes it in lines. And so I'm going to create a new folder, boom, call it music, and then I'm going to drag my music in there. Let me see, there we go. Just to be organized, right? So if you had the perfect folder, this is what it would look like in content, right? So with this content folder, in order to import it in the project, which would be down here, I'm going to drag and drop this content folder, boom, right? So it loads up everything that it can. There's a few files in there that it's not able to load, but that's fine. I press OK, and there we go. All right, so right here I have my content folder, and also I have my icon view, which is what I have on right now that makes these icons or folders really big, but also I can click list view to make them smaller lines. So I'm gonna go back to the icon view, and keep in mind I just put in my content. So the next thing that I want to do is I want to make a bin or a folder like this for my sequences, because again, that's where I'm going to edit. So the easiest way to do that is, number one, just click on this little file folder down here that says new bin. Boom. So and actually I did make a mistake on that one. I'm going to undo it. So I had this folder highlighted. So the reason why you didn't see the new folder is because it popped up inside of this other bin called content. I don't want to do that. I want to have a bin beside it. So that's why I clicked this black space right here. So I'm gonna click that new bin icon again, boom, and it creates my new bin. So I'm gonna type in 00. I'm gonna put an underscore, and then after that, I'm gonna type in sequences. Boom. All right. So now you might ask, why did you put that 00? And that's because when we go to list view, and let's say that I click it by name to get it in alphabetical order or numerical order, it puts it directly in that order. So in my content, I'm gonna click on it again. So I have the option to edit it, and I want to put 01 underscore. There we go. So this numbering system, it's a great tool to use because you can keep everything organized. Because hopefully one thing that you really learn from me is that I like keeping it organized, because again, it's going to make your life easy. All right. So with that said, next thing I need to do to get started is I need to create my sequence or timeline. So in order to do that, number one, since I already have my sequences folder since I already have it made it, I'm going to click it to highlight it. And then from here, I'm going to click on File. I'm going to go to New because I want a new sequence. And I'm going to go to Sequence. Before I click on it, there's another way to pull up this new sequence window. So number one, yes, I can click on that and it's going to open it up. But you notice that on the sequence line, it has this shortcut. These are two keys on the keyboard. So what does this mean? What it means is if you press or if you hold down the command key, which is this, and after you hold that down, if you press the letter N one time and let it go, that will also bring up this sequence screen that's about to pop up as I click on this. So anyway, I went to File, New, and Sequence. I'm going to click on that, and this is the sequence menu. So I'm going to explain all of these things later as far as the different presets for different types of sequences and different sizes that are associated with different sequences. That's a whole nother lesson, but here we go. So right here I have my sequence and I have the template that I want for it, which is the 721 4 24 frames per second. And again, I'll explain that later on. So since I have that set, I'm going to go down here to sequence name, and I'm going to name it the name of my project so that I don't have to name it later whenever I want to export the video. So in essence, what I mean by that is you want to name your sequence because whatever you name it, it'll automatically default to that same name as you export that file. So whenever you export a file, which is to pretty much push the file out of the system to where everything that you edited is combined to one file, you want that name to be whatever this is. All right. So anyway, that probably sounded a little confusing, and I'll go over that later. But with that said, you want to make sure that you name it the name of your project. So for this one, I'm going to just put, well, yeah, I can put Black History Project. And I'll put John Singleton. There we go. And then I can click OK. All right. So this is part one of getting started. So with this, you have everything that you need. You got your sequence. This is where you're editing. This top layer is for video. The bottom layer is for audio. Also, you have all of the content that you need. So again, over here, I got my images. I can open that up. I got my music files. I can open that up. So I'm all good to go. I'm set, ready, and all of that to get everything done that I need done. All right. So in the next tutorial, we're going to go over how to drag in your pictures and whatnot and how to work with them in Premiere. But this is pretty much the setup right here to where you're ready to get started doing what you need to do. All right. So join me in the next tutorial.